Hello, my name is Carrie Radnov, and I want to welcome you to the Healthy Living Revolution Live. The Healthy Living Revolution is a movement of people who are taking healthy back, and we're offering this series to bring some simple solutions and education. Our speaker for today is my dear friend, Leanne Harris. She has been asked to deliver this talk over and over, and I am delighted that she is sharing it here so it can be seen far and wide. Leanne Harris is from Denton, Texas, and is married to her college sweetheart, Glenn. Together, they raised 3 wonderful kids, and now Leanne is a proud Mimi. Leanne has worked in healthcare for over 30 years. She retired early from North Texas Hospital in Denton as an operating room radiology nuclear medicine technologist, performing diagnostic imaging. Now, she is doing her real passion, which is inspiring healthy living around the world. Due to her own health transformation and her background in the medical field, she decided to study plant-based nutrition at the Clayton College of Natural Health. Leanne is focused on empowering people towards lifestyle choices that lead to abundant health. She believes not only is it possible to slow down aging, find alternatives to pharmaceuticals, prevent disease, and live a life of vitality, it is in our control. The title of her talk is Asthma, Allergies, and Solutions.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Carrie. I'm so glad to be part of this Healthy Living Revolution series. I said yes to this community and to this education and to whole food nutrition 18 years ago. It's totally changed our life. So I want to share some of that with you today. Today, we're going to talk about the link between asthma and allergy. What is the common denominator? I'm going to share some tools and resources with you that you can share with your family and friends. And then we're also going to talk about some success stories. So let's go ahead and get to the root cause. As Carrie stated, I have been in the medical field my whole career. Here's a picture of Glenn and I on the left where we met in the radiology department when we were dating. And then, of course, we've served side by side and together for all these years, over 30. And we've seen a lot of trips to the emergency room to x-ray people that were in trouble. I've just been thankful that I've been able to serve in this capacity, but I'm even more appreciative now that I get to serve on the side of prevention and wellness and keeping people out of the emergency room. Let's talk about the definition of asthma. It's a chronic lung disease due to inflammation of the airways resulting in airway obstruction. This obstruction is reversible. The symptoms are coughing, wheezing, tightness in the chest, shortness of breath, and this can be fatal. You can see here on this chart that asthma and allergies is way above diabetes and cancer. It's the #1 chronic disease in America. And we think that just because it's so common, that it's not critical, and that's not the case. It's just we become used to it. This is a picture of a baby getting an x-ray, and I cannot tell you how many hundreds of children I've x-rayed like this. You'll also see a picture on the right of an adult's chest x-ray, and every time somebody comes into the ER with breathing issues, this is what we do. We want to look for pneumonia, underlying causes of what is happening. You'll see overinflation of the lungs where people feel like they're suffocating, yet their lungs are full of unoxygenated air. And a lot of panic for people that are in this situation. You can see this little boy on the stretcher, and this is the typical look of a person wired with inhalers, the steroids. It's so sad. They just get exhausted from not being able to breathe. Not only is asthma and allergy and everything that's associated with it astronomical in the price of taking care of people, but for us, the cost included language delays because the ears were always full of fluid, sinus infections, days off from work, etc. So I'm so thankful that we're not dealing with this in our family anymore, but I really want to help other people not suffer with this as well. Here you can see that the ages of people going to the ER is basically the younger, the more there are. So we can definitely put a dent in this by this education today. So no matter where you are on the spectrum of brand new into this world, having asthmatic, RSV, all kinds of things like that, or older in age, all the things that are going to be shared today are going to be helpful and safe for everybody in between. Let's take a little look at what the lungs look like on the inside. As you breathe in, you're breathing in oxygen that goes into the blood, which goes into the bronchial trees, and you're going to see that in just a minute. This is where the exchange happens, and then you expel the waste products, which is CO2, and everything works without you even thinking about it. And this is a good lung. Right here you see all the air going through, but with somebody with asthma, they are chronically inflamed, and this is obstructed, and the exchange cannot take place. So what we want to do is get down to the basis of how do we get rid of this inflammation in the lungs so that we can breathe. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about allergies. This is characterized by an overreaction of the human immune system to a foreign protein. Symptoms include coughing, sneezing, itchy eyes, runny nose, scratchy throat. More severe symptoms can include rash, hives, asthma, and even death. And I just think, golly, we're talking about a lot of scary things, but people don't realize that this is very, very serious. If you look at this child, you'll see the skin allergies is the body trying to detox, the eye allergies. This is, of course, very miserable. 90% of all children who have asthma also have allergies, so they come together. Let's talk about the types of allergies there are. There are inhalants, which are plant pollens, animal dander, molds, spores, chemical fumes, and cleaning products. The ingestants are food, medications, and then we have contactants, which are things we touch, plants, jewelry, beauty products. And then the injectants could be insect stings. The most common food allergies are cow's milk, eggs, tree nuts, peanuts, shellfish, wheat, soy, and fish. And I remember as a child, nobody had, all these allergies. And just to shed a little humor, the elephant is getting the diagnosis from the doctor. It's worse than I thought. You've got a peanut allergy. But all kidding aside, when you're trying to deal with a child or family member with an allergy, it is so tiring reading labels and trying to make sure that your child is not getting the irritant in their body. If you look at the food allergy epidemic, 32 million Americans have food allergies. So we're seeing 1 in 10 adults, 1 in 13 children. Over 50% of adults have experienced a severe reaction, and over 42% of children have experienced a severe reaction. And just between 2007 and 2016, we've seen a rise of 377% of anaphylactic reactions from food. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So actually what happens, why we're getting these reactions, is something called leaky gut. And there's 3 other talks that can be shared with you from the Healthy Living Revolution to get more in depth. One from Dr. Mitra Ray, one from Dr. Candace Corson, one from Stacy Joy. But basically, this is the underlying issue. This is the common denominator. So you can see all the things on the top that can cause leaky gut. This will cause metabolic dysfunction. It can result in less energy for defense. And most people that have immune system issues go into overdrive, which introduces a cascade of physical, mental, and emotional difficulties. The immune system starts to fight itself, and you're like, how in the world can that happen? Well, if you'll see that the penetration of all these particles into the bloodstream, so that little wall of cells opens up, becomes permeable, and all these things get through, and you develop a food intolerance first, which goes into an autoimmune disease. So that's the basics of leaky gut. This is where you can actually see a slide, a cross section, and on the left at the top, You'll see the nice long finger-like villi that move food along and help you absorb nutrients. And a gut that has been affected negatively will have no villi, no absorption, and very permeable. And then on the bottom, you'll see a colonoscopy picture of a nice, healthy gut versus one that is chronically inflamed. And this is where our autoimmune issues begin, which lead to things like asthma and allergies. The overgrowth of bad bacteria is very serious, and so you can see an integrative physician to help you heal your gut. They can provide additional techniques like probiotics and glutathione. Bear in mind that things may get worse before they get better. That's always typical in healing the gut. So again, what destroys good bacteria? Environmental toxins, antibiotics, cleaning solutions, personal care products that are just putting chemicals into the bloodstream, and then all the foods that come with agrochemicals, glyphosate, artificially administered hormones, and antibiotics. We know that cigarette smoke should not have to even be stated for somebody with asthma and allergies that they would not be smoking. So what we want to do is focus on how do we rebuild the gut, right? So people who exhibit autoimmune systems have an increase in toxins. They have the diminished ability to counteract or detoxify toxins, and they have a decrease in nutritional quality. So obviously things are not balanced, but there is hope for healing, and let's talk about that. We want to talk about detox. That is what we're going to focus on. Two things that we're going to keep in mind are taking away the offenders, reducing the toxic buildup of food dyes, chemicals, and sugar, and introducing more plants, more complex carbs. Those are the healing properties that we need. And remembering that genetics loads the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. Just because this is something you may feel like you were genetically handed down does not mean you have to live with it. We can actually reverse this stuff. So I have two books that I love to recommend. I love this little incredible microbiome book by Sean Davies and Tori Davies. The illustrations are just beautiful to teach a child about the happy and the unhappy gut bacteria and how it works. And then I love The 4A Epidemic by Dr. Joseph Cannizzaro. And he talks about all of this, the link between leaky gut and autism, ADHD, allergies, and asthma. So let's talk about the fruits, veggies, and berries benefits. Did you know that fruits and vegetables have an address? Every time you eat parsley, it cleans the liver. Every time you eat a walnut, it's good for brain health. It looks like the brain. The carrots feed and nourish the eyes, and they kind of look like the eyes. So it is really important for us to eat lots of different kinds of produce because it works on all different kinds of organ systems. They work in synergy. They need each other, even though there are a lot of little nutrients. 2 + 2 = 10 in the case of synergy with food. They're alkaline. We don't want an acidic body or acidic diet. We want alkaline. Lots of fiber, lots of complex carbs. They have lots of water. They are safe, and they help heal the gut. So this is the common denominator that is going to fix everything we've been talking about. The research is there. Eating plenty of fruits and veggies can protect against asthma. High fiber diet prevents lung inflammation. Asthmatic children should be eating more fruits and vegetables and staying off of fast food. You just can't eat them enough. And the problem is that our produce has lost the value that it used to have. And so if you look at this Journal of Horticulture Science statistic, some varieties have lost 5 to a whopping 40% of the nutritional content because of agri-farming. So when I first started studying nutrition, it was 5 a day. Now it's 7 to 13 a day. I'm hearing people like with asthmatics, allergies, sick, pregnant, or athletes should be getting 13 to 18 a day. And that is just about next to impossible for the average human. The benefits include micronutrition, minerals, vitamins. These are the things that are in fruits and vegetables that are so important for healing. So this was our challenge. This looked like our son. Every meal was a struggle. I could not make him eat raw vegetables. And, you know, we were always having issues. So I know that this is a tremendous challenge, and especially when you're dealing with people that have taste and texture issues. So we found a solution. But if you're trying to cater to everybody, you see Mike and Tim and Katie and Lisa, there's allergies, they gag, they throw it. It's a real challenge as a mom to try to feed your family healthily, especially as on the go as people are today. So we learned about Juice Plus from a nurse at work, and I heard a CD by Dr. Du Bois, and it just made sense to me. This is a company that found a way to grow their produce non-GMO in good soil. They allow everything to vine ripen before it is picked and juiced, and they juice it with the skin on and the stems, therefore it being whole food nutrition. This is all put together through Meridian Energy. Every plant has a different organ it goes to. And what you're looking at is 30 different pieces of produce that you can get in your body in under a minute for less than, well, it's $2.28, and one organic apple is $2. So I can't imagine getting this kind of produce in my body for a tenth of the cost any other way. This is the most researched nutritional product in the world. Major universities, double-blind, placebo-controlled, peer-reviewed, randomized. It's not just done in a basement of someplace. It's actual hospitals and medical research science centers. What they have found is that Juice Plus is bioavailable, meaning it gets delivered to the mitochondria, the DNA. It is absorbed. It helps with cardiovascular wellness, and that's what we're talking about, is being able to breathe, improving blood flow. It helps with the immune system. Again, not developing things like sinus infections, pneumonia. It maintains healthy DNA, reduces oxidative stress. Oh my goodness, we know that all these conditions are related to high inflammation and oxidative stress. Supports healthy skin and healthy gums. The inflammatory responses again go down, quality of life. It helps with healthy cholesterol, LDL. And then if you look at the last study, supports healthy lung function. I love this study because this was done on smokers, and they literally kept smoking but had better lung function. So we're not encouraging that, but we are saying that even if you can't change your diet a lot, just by adding Juice Plus, you are going to see these amazing benefits. So no matter where you are, whether you're suffering from asthma or allergies or anything else, better nutrition is going to help every area of the body. The reason we said yes to Juice Plus 18 years ago was because of this program. This is called Healthy Starts for Family, and you get to participate in this study and receive free Juice Plus for your child for up to 4 years. So anybody that is 4 through college can get 20 fruits and vegetables a day. And you just ask to fill out the survey and pay the shipping on the product. It's absolutely the best gift that I know of. What we're seeing is that kids and adults are missing fewer days of school and work. They're taking less meds and prescription drugs, drinking more water, visiting the doctor less, consuming less fast food and soft drinks, and eating more fruits and vegetables, because what you put in your body, you crave. So this program is available for anybody that is brand new to Juice Plus. This is Liam. Isn't he so cute? This is the gummies. And I love that you can't eat too many. You may just go to the bathroom a lot, but there's no dyes or food colors. There's lots of fiber in here. This is just plants. And I love that adults and children can eat these safely. One of the things I appreciate about Juice Plus is it has an NSF certification, meaning we know what is in it. It is safe and it is clean. It is double tested. And you can know beyond a shadow of a doubt that your children are getting the best nutrition on the planet with Juice Plus. This is shifting to macronutrition, more like the gas in the engine rather than the oil. This is our plant-based shakes, and they are amazing. I've had one every day for years and years. So low glycemic load, it stabilizes the blood sugar, vegan and non-GMO, gluten and dairy-free. It's plant-based protein, powerful prebiotic fibers and oligosaccharides. This is what feeds the good bacteria in the gut. Again, this has a nutrition facts label just like the capsules, and non-GMO, 13 grams of protein, and 8 grams of fiber, which that's more than Metamucil. Spirulina from blue-green algae, pumpkin, pomegranate powers, ancient grains, amaranth, quinoa, millet, broccoli, alfalfa, and radish sprouts. And even though it doesn't say this on the label because food labels are different, it has over 500 milligrams of calcium, and I believe this is what helped my bone health immensely. So love, love, love my shakes. We can make protein powder. We can make pancakes. We can use this for power bites. It's very versatile, and I travel with it all the time. This is a newer product. This is a plant-based omega. So we did skip the fish and went straight to the clean algae source, the microalgae. And this has omega 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. So again, whole food, plant nutrition, not something made in a lab. And I love that, again, this is NSF certified, and the preliminary research is showing that it is bioavailable. It raises key antioxidants, and you need less to do more. Again, synergy through whole food. And everybody on the planet needs an omega. I mean, ADHD, skin, brain health, gut, joints. We are just not getting those good, healthy oils that nourish our cells. This tastes like orange too. So Juice Plus is not about curing specific conditions or diseases. It's simply healthful plant-based nutrition, highly concentrated to deliver a nutritional punch, supported by over 20 years of independent clinical research. It's the most researched nutritional product in the world, and I don't know where I'd be without it. I'm so thankful. I started off at 250 pounds. You see the Coke on the counter, the vegetables that I'm about to pour down the disposal. I had migraines every day. My husband really had tons of eczema and psoriasis and bad sinus infections. Kids were on antibiotics, and I had osteopenia. We thought this was normal because we worked in the sick care industry, and come to find out that I didn't have to live this way. We started Juice Plus, and we didn't know about the research. We just wanted to get broccoli, spinach, beets, and kale into our children every day without the guilt factor, and within a couple years, all of this had reversed for us. And now I'm that Mimi that can get on the floor. I have tons of energy. I feel like the clock is going backwards as far as aging. And I'm so thankful that little Lila, who's on the floor, got Juice Plus in her body while her mom was pregnant. They took Juice Plus years before they had Lila. And now, of course, with nursing, and now she's on table food. She's just, hasn't even had the sniffles. I mean, it's just amazing the difference in her health and my children's health, because I didn't know this stuff then. And I would give anything to be able to go backwards, but I obviously can't. But I hope that I can help you go forward and make these changes. So in summary, we want to eliminate the offenders, which is the dyes, chemicals, wheat, milk, and sugar. We want to introduce more plants and water. This will take care of our fiber needs and help us detox. We want to add Juice Plus whole food supplementation. There is no way that you can get what you need to be in optimal health without it. And then we want to seek outside help for gut healing if you feel like this is what you're dealing with. I'm so thankful to be part of this amazing community where we have tools and resources and cookbooks and exercise videos. It really is all about the core four: movement and water and stress reduction and sleep and whole food nutrition. And now I'd like to share a story from another friend of mine as they talk about how their body has healed through whole food nutrition. So thank you for joining me today.
Hello, my name is Jeanette, and I'm grateful that you're here to hear my story tonight. It all started back in 2001. I got my hair cut, and a girl that cut my hair had some Juice Plus sitting on her counter. And at that time, my children were 14, 11, and 7, and Juice Plus just made perfect sense. So we got started right away. We knew we didn't eat enough raw fruits and vegetables, and I knew that that was an important part of our health journey. And at the time, our youngest son suffered with asthma, allergies, eczema, and even vitiligo. So they're all autoimmune related, and this all began when he was 3 years old. After a bad sunburn, he was left with a giant white patch around one of his eyes. So vitiligo is where your pigment is missing in patches of your skin. So between the ages of 3 and 7, he then also developed the eczema, the asthma, and the allergies. And he would scratch himself raw at night. He would never be able to sleep through the night. He had a hard time playing outside. His eyes would be swollen shut. He also suffered with ADHD in school. We were constantly having conversations with the teachers. And he was absolutely miserable, and I was absolutely miserable, and it was really, really hard on our family. And I just kept wondering, when is something going to change? How are we going to change this? And he was on 7 prescriptions. We were going to the pediatrician 4 and maybe 5 times a month. He was missing lots of school, and especially during spring and fall, he was absolutely miserable. So when I heard about Juice Plus, I had no expectations. I just knew we didn't eat enough raw, fresh fruits and vegetables. And what happened was truly amazing. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. And this picture on the far left is Chet when he was actually 9 years old. So by the age of 9 years old, he could actually play outside and play sports. Yahoo! So here he is in his baseball picture, and you can look closely, and even though the pigment had already started coming back around his eye because he had been on Juice Plus for 2 years in this picture, you can still see the large white patch around his eye. So a large portion of his eyebrow and all of his eyelashes were white. And of course, he had this large spot missing pigment. And in the summer, he would get very tan, and it was very, very obvious. But what was worse was the asthma, allergies, and the eczema. So after starting on Juice Plus, I noticed right away that he would not scratch himself raw during the night with the eczema. I also noticed that he was sleeping through the night, that he was waking up and his eyes weren't swollen shut, and he wasn't missing school. And his teacher even said to me, "What are you doing different?" He is behaving like a different child. He is calmer, he's happier. And I just was like, I didn't want to jinx it, but I said, I think these fruit and vegetable capsules are doing something. So he was 7 years old, he could swallow. And so the more Juice Plus I gave him, the better he got. And so I'm just thrilled to say that it's been 18 years now. And the vitiligo is about 90 to 95% repigmented. He has not had a prescription in 18 years since he was 7 years old. So within I'm going to say 3 or 4 months after starting Juice Plus, he was able to get off all of his prescription medication. And like I said, I didn't know I'd be telling this story 18 years later, but here we are. He's 25. He went from being the sickest boy in his first grade class to the strongest kid in his senior class. And this upper picture you can see, this is one of my grandchildren. So he's here, and you can look closely and see that really he just has a white patch in his eyebrow and some white eyelashes. And like I said, these lower pictures, he's gone on to be very successful in the financial world. He also plays lead guitar and works out regularly. So he has gone on to have just this full, incredible, healthy life. And I really don't know where we'd be without Juice Plus. So it changed everything back in 2001, and I'm just so grateful. So thank you for listening. Take care and have a great day.
We would like to encourage you to get back with the person who invited you to this webinar to learn more.